Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope you're all doing fine back at your home. Welcoming you all to the to all new lesson of O3 accounting. Well, we all know that we started a new topic yesterday, bank reconciliation statement, and uh, in these past 2 days since we've started this topic, we have had comprehensive detail about the background and the concept of bank reconciliation statement, that why it is prepared, what is the focus of the reconciliation on its preparation, what does the preparation produce particularly. Now, obviously, for any concept to be very helpful and effective for you all, it is very important to bring it into a practical form. And how does the practical form implemented? It is implemented whenever you attempt a particular question. So, first of all, without wasting much of the time, I would write down a small question, a question that is related to the preparation of bank reconciliation statement. As I told you all that there are a total of 2 parts that are to be prepared under the shadow of bank reconciliation statement. One is the adjusted cash book, okay, and the other one is bank reconciliation statement, right? We have to prepare these 2 documents whenever solving such a question. Now, what happens is that, why do we prepare an adjusted cash book? I told you yesterday in a very detailed form that whatever items are missed in the cash book, they are then recorded in the adjusted cash book. Any item that is recorded in the bank statement but not recorded in the cash book, it is then recorded into the adjusted cash book. And then whatsoever items are recorded in the cash book but are not recorded in the bank statement, for those transactions we prepare a bank reconciliation statement. This is how this thing goes on. Now, we had a format for adjusted cash book, okay, we saw that yesterday. Now over here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to write down an example question, okay. The example question says that balance in bank, that means the balance is the cash book in our records, it was 2195 debit, and balance as per bank statement was 2170 credit. Now, obviously, if we have a debit balance, that means it is our asset. The bank statement would probably then be having a credit balance, because for them it is a liability. But there is a difference between the balances. Even though the difference is only worth $25, but still there is a difference, and we need to reconcile this difference. Now, the other some other information that they have provided is credit transfer, okay. The credit transfer was worth $550. Then the unpresented checks were worth $400. We then had bank charges. The bank charges were $50. Standing order was worth $310. And the uncredited checks they were worth $615. Okay. This is the information given with us. I'll be sharing this example in the document form in the chat box as well at the end of the lesson. But this is one example. Okay. Now, as far as the adjusted cash book format was concerned, we used to start it with a brought forward balance, and this is the brought forward balance. Balance that is already there in the bank column of the cash book, that is 2195 debit. Now it is a debit balance. It is an asset, so that is why its brought forward would be brought down on the debit side. Then things that are relevant to adjusted cash book, first of all, credit transfer. Credit transfer is worth $550. Then unpresented checks, this is related to the bank reconciliation statement. Bank charges are then recorded into the adjusted cash book. What happens is that the bank directly deducts some financial charges, some service charges from our bank account. Bank records it into the bank statement, and then we make a record in the adjusted cash book whenever we reconcile the balance, and that was worth $50. Same is the case with credit transfer. Credit transfer was an amount that was sent directly to our bank account. The bank recorded it in the bank statement as a credit balance. Now that we know that yes, this amount has been transferred into our bank account, so we'll be debiting our adjusted cash book as well. Uske baad, we have standing order. Standing order is basically an instruction by us to the bank to pay some particular party on a particular date. And when do we get confirm about that payment? Whenever we request a bank statement. So after we see that a bank statement has payments made from our bank account, so we'll be crediting our cash book as well, because any payment that we make is actually a credit into the cash book. Now, over here, we can calculate our CD balance. You just give me a minute so that I can make the calculations for it. It's 2195 plus 550. The total is 2745. That would be recorded in the both sides, the higher side balance, and we'll deduct 360 from that side. So the balance as per adjusted cash book would be 2385. Well, I hope it is clear to everyone. This is how, out of information, we prepare an adjusted cash book. Now, this is one part, adjusted cash book, of this question. The other part says to prepare a bank reconciliation statement. Okay. Now, how do we prepare a bank statement, a bank reconciliation statement? We studied that format yesterday, and I'll be repeating down that again over here. Remember one thing, that at the end of our preparation of the bank reconciliation statement, our balance, the answer that we will derive must be equal to this amount. If our answer is equal to this amount, that means our working is absolutely correct and we are successful in reconciling balances of the cash book and the bank statement. Now let's have a look on it. It starts with balance as per adjusted cash book. Now, what is the balance as per adjusted cash book? This is the balance that we calculated in the adjusted cash book. We will start from this balance, 2385, right? If you could remember the format that we studied yesterday for BRS, for bank reconciliation statement, it said that we add unpresented checks. We add unpresented checks, and we can see that we have unpresented checks over here that are worth $400. Okay, now I would like to repeat it once again. Why do we add unpresented checks? remember one thing, that we have to follow the bank in order to reconcile the balances. Whatever the bank has recorded, we will record that. Whatever the bank has not recorded, we won't be recording that. In fact, we would be taking out the effect of that transaction. Now, what has happened over here, that unpresented checks are all those checks that we paid to our suppliers, but they haven't taken the payment from our bank account till yet. Now, when we paid the checks, obviously we credited our cash book. हमने तो वो बैलेंस माइनस कर दिया था जितने का चेक पे किया था, लेकिन अभी तक आपके सप्लायर ने पैसे नहीं लिए आपके बैंक से. दैट मींस द मनी इज स्टिल देयर इनटू द बैंक. हमने माइनस कर दी हुई थी. इसका मतलब है बैलेंस को रिकंसाइल करने के लिए हम इसे दोबारा ऐड बैक करेंगे. तो दैट इज व्हाई इट इज बीइंग एडेड बैक. द नेक्स्ट थिंग ओवर हियर that is deducted from the balances, uncredited checks, or something that is also known as bank lodgements. The uncredited checks in this question are worth 615. Okay. Why do we deduct uncredited checks? The reason behind deducting the uncredited checks is that these are all those checks which are received by us. Okay. Customers pay us. Okay. Now, whenever these customers would pay us these checks, we are going to debit these checks into our cash book. But what actually happens, that funds till yet have now not been transferred in our bank account from customers' bank account. Now, we already made a debit entry, but the funds are not here till yet. So what to do now? If the bank hasn't recorded it, because our bank account shows that yet the funds are not recorded or not transferred in our bank account. So what we will do, due to no transfer of funds from the customer's account, we would deduct this balance 615. Okay, now let's see what is the answer after we add unpresented checks into the balance as per registered cash book, and we deduct the uncredited checks from it. You can all apply the calculation and you could all see that the balance over here that we have found after these calculations is 2170. That is now equal to the balance as per the bank statement. So this is one measure through which we can derive that whether our working for the complete question is correct. It's either correct or it is not. If your final answer, which is known as balance as per bank statement, it's always given in the question. In majority of the questions, this balance as per bank statement is given. If your answer equals this balance, that means your working is absolutely correct. If this balance does not equal to this amount, that means there is a little problem in your working. Well, class, this was a small example that I wanted you all to attempt before moving on towards very tricky and critical exam past paper questions. As far as this example is concerned, I will be sharing a document that has recorded this complete example. You can keep that safe with you. And along with that, I am uploading a worksheet that is completely based on this style question. Please attempt that worksheet in your Google Classroom and turn it back to me as soon as possible. For all your queries and questions that you're eager to ask, I'll be having your answers in the next 2 minutes shortly. Thank you very much.